Welcome everybody back to 4-Stroke Hearts. We are back at Apex doing some practices. Let me tell you a wee story. Today I'm going to try to search the low 42 AM41 because I lowered this thing right here. I don't know if you see it with the 360 camera, but I lowered the force just a teeny bit just for a better geometry. But let's see what happens. The wheel track day team is here. So let's see how that goes. Let's see if I can give you guys a 42. Last session was good. Think I'll be kissing 42s. I'm really tired. A little hangover. Don't drink and drive. Actually, really nice to see the front really wanting to tip in. Got a little bit of chatter on the entrance of the front, so I'm gonna see. Maybe I'll take out 1 click of compression. Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah. Woo. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, go to my phone. This is still recording, so download that and put it in the Dragy. So stop recording, sending data to Dragy, and now we're going to download today's session. Hope you can see. You can see it's downloading. 11%, 15, 17. Let's see. Bam, bam, bam. I guess you guys can see the Dragy down here. You can see the sucker down below. 120 megabytes of storage is not that bad actually. All right. Apex Racing Center comes up, selected, start to finish. I'm going to use the track, and it does it. And unfortunately, 4273. I mean, fortunately, of course, but to get to the 41s is going to be an absolute mission. 43, 42.9, 42.9, 42.7, 42.7, 42.9, 42.8, 42.5. Oh, no, 42.5 is the optimal. The last lap is like an optimal lap if you thread all your sectors fine. But 42s. All right, folks, today's session number 2. I was able to hold 42s, which is good. I'm gonna see if I took out a couple clicks of compression, and I'm gonna close the rebound in the rear to get less lift on the back and see if I can control a little bit the bike. Right now I switched the bike on mapping 2. Let's see if that helps. session. That was good. That felt good. I think I discovered a little bit of a better body position situation, which is good. I'm able to like move out more. All right, let's see what the lap times say. Let's see. As always, go to your app, click on download, and the new session shows up. The new session needs to be downloaded. The previous one has been downloaded before. Again, 120 megabytes, but the storage is 2 sessions. It barely kissed 21 megabytes of storage, so it's good. Storage is fine for the day, a day or two worth of time. So then you gotta format. And then once you download it, you got them on your phone, so you don't need them on the device. Let's see. 470, 4271. Yeah, the last few sessions were okay. 43, 45, 43, 43. Yeah, that body position changes fucked me up. Yeah, 43, 40.
This is a call for cars.
42, 3 would be the optimal, but let's see where else we're messing up. You gotta study all this information and data and whatnot. You gotta study the data, see how choppy I am. So much data to look at. You know, altitude, weather, brake times applied, 10 times, 128 G's, acceleration and G's, longitude acceleration, latitude acceleration, speed ramping. There's a bit of a messy graph over here. So precise, so much information to go through, to study. See these little choppy things? I gotta figure out what this choppy thing's all about. This little choppy area, it's not good. That's consistent. I don't know why I'm cutting there, but anyway. Really good to study times.
We're going to talk about a different little thing, and it's about front suspension. So you saw me earlier tweak the front suspension a couple of times, and I'm watching up here the playback of the video of DJI, and you saw me change a couple of compression clicks in the front. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about is geometry. The suspension position inside of the triple clamp, basically your triple clamps going further into your suspension bars through your triple clamp, and also how it impacts suspension as a whole, and also preload. The Husqvarnas come with an air preload. So in the book it says to put it at 150, but I put it at 125, and I wanted to verify if I was really working with the bottom of the stroke. And I also wanted to verify if by pushing the suspension in was going to give me a better feel tipping in the bike and making it faster. So now we're going to run through a few laps, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of commentary. I put the DJI little Osmo on it, and I was worried that the front was chattering and losing the front, and I thought I was packing the suspension at the end. But from what I see, look at this braking in, slamming on the brakes, and the suspension is still working at the bottom end of it all at the hardest point when I'm going at the hairpin. Again, at the end of the straight. You see the suspension is still working right where it needs to work, and right now it's doing what it needs to do, extending at the speeds that I wanted to extend. And right here, for example, after the wheelie bump, nice and tight, and extending at the speed I wanted to. And the left and the right is doing great. And also here's what I was losing the front, right here. But suspension is not working at the highest. So it was a compression thing. I put a couple of clicks of compression in, and the bike stood more planted, together with putting the 2 suspension bars through the triple clamp, just one line, helped enough to tip the bike a little faster. And Krino also gave me a little pointer, thank you Krino for that one, to not come in so aggressive braking and tipping in the bike, but just kind of like rolling it in and going into the right side. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can show you in this moment. I don't know if it's gonna happen here. Here is, who's this? Is this Krino? Looks like Krino. Yay! So here, this left. Look, I'm gonna go straight. See, I'm going open to the rumble strip. That's what it was. I was in the middle of the track. Here I'm messing around with Krino. That's who gave me the tip on what to do on that corner. See, look, back it in, the bike is working really nice, suspension is packing in, but it's not packing into the bottom, so it's working within the last bit of the stroke and doing what it needs to do. Same thing here is what I tell people: don't slam on the brakes in the corners, just gradually in, and this is the behavior of the suspension. And you know how in the previous video I talked about trailing in the brakes? Here, look, I'm trailing in the brakes and releasing them at that point. And when you release them at that point, you let the suspension stay low. Same here. I'm gonna trail in the brakes on the left, ready, trailing in, see it come lower. And I'm using now the track a little bit more to the right, and I'm able to not lose front. Now, talking about people, oh, trailing the brakes, trailing the brakes. If you look how much it lowers the front by like literally half a foot. And that's all of the difference between keeping the wheel gripped, look, it's gripping the wheel, keeping it low, and not letting the suspension unpack so quickly. Same thing here, obviously it's going up and down, but check this out. So slamming on the brakes, but look how much the suspension is packed right until the exit, and I let go on the exit. That's why I double on the brakes on the turns to keep it packed. So here, packed, and then I brake again, pack, and I release slowly, and I use all the track a little bit more than before. It's so important to utilize the brakes, not necessarily slam on them, but just kiss them in the entry, and look, I'm keeping it packed, and then I'm starting to release them slowly on the exit almost. So I'm rolling the brakes. Same here, look, brake, turn in, but you see that suspension packed in there. As the suspension is packed in there, the front has got grip. You don't want to brake, release, and turn. You want to, and this is kind of like one of the best visual representation I can give it, I guess, really. Let's see, left and right, and in comes a little bit of brake to pack it to the right, and then a little bit of brake to pack it to the left, and release slowly. You want to keep the geometry down. You don't want to brake, release, and tip. You want to brake and trail and pack that suspension in, and here's a visual representation of it. So I hope this was helpful. It's nonsense, but I just hope it was a way for me to verify that the suspension was working well, my clicks were working, Carino's suggestions were working well, the geometry of the bike was working really well, and it was like leaning in the areas where I needed to lean, and it confirmed that I'm not bottoming in as well too at the end of the straights and as I'm coming in as well. So I hope this helps you as much as it helped me. So peace out.